My wife said, "We should get divorced while you still have your dignity." Then she took off with a man I'd never met and bragged about it in a private group chat. I didn't confront her, just filed first, froze the accounts, and sent her lawyer a courtesy copy of the chat logs. 72 hours later, her entire strategy fell apart, and her lawyer was frantically calling me instead. I still remember her exact expression when she said it. Not angry, not sad, just bored. "We should get divorced while you still have your dignity." Sitting at our kitchen table on a Sunday morning, coffee cup halfway to her lips. Casual, like she'd suggested we try a new restaurant. 8 years of marriage vaporized in 11 words. I asked the obvious, why? "Because we're different people," she replied, setting her mug down carefully on the coaster. "Because I want things you can't give me." She didn't elaborate on what those things were. Didn't need to. The notification that had popped up on her phone the previous night while she was in the shower told me everything. A message from someone saved as J with a black heart emoji, "Missing you already. Next weekend can't come soon enough." I'd never gone through her phone before. Never had reason to. But that night, something cold and certain settled in my stomach when she came home late from drinks with the girls, wearing perfume she hadn't put on that morning. When she left for her emergency meeting after dropping her divorce bombshell, I did what any IT security consultant would do. I backed up our home network data. Our router logs every device connection. Our shared cloud storage keeps deleted files for 30 days. Our home security system archives footage for 60 days. I'm not a jealous man by nature. Never have been. But I am thorough. What I found wasn't surprising, just comprehensive. Location data showing her at a downtown hotel 6 times in the past month. Text threads with her friend Megan discussing Jay and how to handle the exit strategy. Calendar entries labeled lunch that aligned perfectly with her phone being at that same hotel. Most damning, a private Instagram group chat with 3 of her friends that synced to our shared family iPad. A device she'd apparently forgotten was logged into her account. For months, they'd been her personal cheer squad as she detailed her affair with Jay, a CrossFit instructor from her gym who was everything opposite of boring, predictable Mason. "He doesn't even suspect," one friend asked. "Mason's too busy with his computer security stuff to notice anything," my wife replied, adding a laughing emoji. "Besides, we barely talk anymore. When we finalize the divorce, he'll probably just nod and go back to his spreadsheets." Another gem, Jay says, "I can move in with him as soon as it's filed. His apartment is small, but we won't need much space. Lol." And the kicker sent just 3 days ago. "Strategy meeting with Diane tomorrow. She handled my cousin's divorce and destroyed her ex-husband. Mason has no idea what's coming." Diane, her college roommate, now a divorce attorney known for aggressive tactics against high-earning spouses. I took screenshots of everything, downloaded all the data, then carefully restored her phone to exactly how I'd found it and replaced it on her nightstand. That night, she came home late again, mentioned casually that she'd be visiting her sister the coming weekend. Her sister lives 3 states away. The location sharing on her phone that she never bothered to disable would undoubtedly show her at Jay's apartment instead. I nodded, said I hoped she'd have a good time, and went back to my laptop. The next morning, I called in a favor from Ben, a former client who happens to be one of the top divorce attorneys in the city. I explained the situation and sent him the evidence. "Jesus, Mason," he said after reviewing everything. "She's planning to blindside you next week. Diane's Mo is filing for emergency support orders based on exaggerated claims. Usually we're..." Ben presented our terms. 1. Fair division of assets based on contributions. 2. No alimony. 3. Clean break. Minimal drama. 4. Preliminary agreement within 72 hours to establish intentions, with the understanding that final divorce processing would follow normal legal timelines. Your client gets to retain her dignity and professional reputation, Ben concluded. My client gets to move on without a protracted legal battle. Everyone wins. After a whispered conference, Diane nodded. "We'll review and respond by tomorrow." Catherine finally spoke, voice brittle. "Can we talk privately?" I glanced at Ben, who shrugged slightly. "There's nothing to discuss," I replied, gathering my things. "The papers say everything necessary." Outside, Catherine caught up to me in the parking lot. "You went through my phone?" she demanded, voice shaking. "No," I said. "You brought your affair into our home network, which I manage, into our cloud storage, which I set up. Everything was there without touching your phone. Those were private conversations on devices and accounts I built, maintained, and paid for. I unlocked my car. Just like you've been sleeping with your trainer in a home secured by my income while planning to blindside me with a divorce." It wasn't she started, then stopped. "Jay isn't just my trainer," she said quietly. "I know exactly who he is," I replied. "The guy whose apartment is too small for all your things. The reason you wanted to handle the exit strategy carefully. The person you're discovering isn't answering your calls now that things have gotten complicated." Her face confirmed my suspicion. "You said we should divorce while I still had my dignity," I continued, opening my car door. "Thank you for that advice. I'm taking it." Within 48 hours, the settlement was signed. No alimony, fair asset division, clean break. That was 6 weeks ago. I've moved to a new apartment, changed my personal email, and returned to the gym a different one than hers. Haven't spoken to Catherine since that parking lot conversation. Through mutual friends, I've heard she didn't move in with Jay after all. Apparently, he's been giving her space to deal with her divorce. Translation: he wanted an affair, not a refugee. Last week, I received a handwritten letter from her delivered to my office. I recognized her handwriting on the envelope. After considering it for a moment, I dropped it unopened into the shredder. Some stories don't need an epilogue. Update, 5 weeks later. Wasn't planning to post an update, but developments warrant one. First, thanks for all the supportive messages. The comments calling me cold or calculating made me laugh. When your spouse is plotting to blindside you with a divorce while sleeping with someone else, calculating is the appropriate response. Several people asked about Catherine's family's reaction. Her mother called me repeatedly that first week, leaving increasingly desperate voicemails about working things out and not throwing away 8 years. I finally answered one call and simply said, "Ask your daughter about Jay." The call stopped immediately. Her younger brother, who I'd always been close with, reached out with a simple text, "I heard what happened. She's always been like this. Sorry, man. We got beers last week." He's still family to me, even if she isn't. The most interesting development, Diane, Catherine's lawyer, has been professionally impacted by this situation. Apparently, being documented pre-planning aggressive divorce strategies with someone who isn't yet your client raises some ethical questions. According to Ben, she's under review by the State Bar Association. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. As for Jay, the CrossFit instructor, Catherine's plan to move in with him evaporated the moment things got complicated. According to her brother, Jay claimed he needed space and was going through some personal stuff. 2 weeks after our divorce finalized, he was already seeing someone new at the gym. Catherine herself has been radiating regret through various channels. The handwritten letter I shredded was followed by a second, then emails, then messages through mutual friends. The tone evolved from angry "you ambushed me" to defensive "you don't know the whole story" to desperate "please just talk to me." I maintained no contact, not out of bitterness, but because there's simply nothing to say. Her latest approach was having a package delivered to my office containing mementos from our relationship, concert tickets we'd saved, photos from our early dating years, a watch I thought I'd lost during our move 3 years ago. The note attached read, "I found these while packing. Thought you might want them back." I donated the watch to a charity auction, recycled the photos, and moved on with my day. Some asked if I've started dating again. Not yet. I'm focusing on rebuilding, new apartment, new gym routine, reconnecting with friends I drifted away from during the marriage, and considering a career move that would have been impossible with Catherine, who always prioritized staying near her family. The divorce settlement was finalized without complications. The evidence we compiled was so overwhelming that her side had no leverage whatsoever. In the end, it was simply a matter of dividing assets according to contribution. Did I ever confront her about the full extent of what I discovered? No. The filing spoke for itself. The comprehensive evidence package said everything needed. Words wouldn't have added anything but drama. For those wondering about red flags I missed, looking back, there were subtle shifts over time. Increased secrecy around her phone. Sudden interest in fitness after years of hating the gym. New clothes I never saw her wear. Weekend girls trips where social media posts were carefully curated. Nothing glaring, just puzzle pieces I didn't connect until that notification lit up her phone. One comment suggested I handled things too perfectly and this must be fake. When your job involves security and contingency planning, methodical responses come naturally. I didn't punch walls or key her car or create dramatic confrontations. I assessed the threat, gathered intelligence, consulted an expert, and executed a strategic response. Life isn't a movie. Sometimes the most effective action is simply protecting yourself quietly and walking away with your integrity intact. Eat it.